Let me ask you something. How much of your life have you spent chasing approval, chasing attention, chasing love, chasing people who don't even see your value, and what did it get you? Be honest. Did it make you stronger? Did it make you happier? Did it make you feel alive? No. It drained you, it emptied you. It stripped you of your power. Because here's the truth. Every time you chase someone, every time you beg for their validation, every time you shrink yourself hoping they'll notice you, you hand over your power like it's worthless. You give them the keys to your energy, your confidence, your identity, and the more you do it, the weaker you become. But you were not built to beg. You were not built to chase. You were built to lead. You were built to create. You were built to rise. I want you to hear me right now. The moment you stop chasing is the moment you start living. That's the shift. That's the pivot. That's when the game changes. Think about it. When you're running after someone, you're always behind. You're on their timeline, their terms, their rules. They decide your worth, and you, yes you, sit there waiting for them to hand you scraps of attention, scraps of validation, scraps of love. That is not life, that is slavery, and it's time to break out of it. You want power back, you take it. And how do you take it? You stop running after what doesn't serve you, and you start building what can't be ignored. You invest in you, you grow you. You develop you into the kind of person that doesn't have to chase, because the right people, the right opportunities, the right relationships come looking for you. Let me give you an image. Picture yourself as a magnet. When you chase, your magnet is flipped the wrong way. Everything you want is repelled from you because desperation pushes it away. But when you stop chasing, when you flip that magnet, suddenly you draw things in. Not because you begged, but because you became, and I get it. Some of you are thinking, but if I stop chasing, won't I lose them? Maybe you will. But hear me, if they walk away when you stop begging, they were never yours to begin with. You didn't lose them. They freed you. The people who are meant to be in your life won't require you to break yourself to earn their presence. They'll meet you in your power. They'll respect your growth. They'll value your energy, and if they don't, that's their loss. Stop giving your energy to people who don't have the capacity to appreciate it. Life is not about chasing. It's about attracting. It's about building yourself so strong, so undeniable, so valuable, that the world cannot look past you. It's about creating a life where you choose who gets access, not begging someone else to give you a seat at their table. And let me tell you this, the world respects people who respect themselves. When you stop chasing, when you stand tall, when you decide I am enough, I am worthy, I am powerful, everything changes. People feel it, they see it, they respond to it, because confidence is magnetic, power is magnetic, self-respect is magnetic. But here's the catch, you can't fake it. You can't just say the words. You have to build it, you have to do the work, you have to wake up every day and grow yourself. Your mind, your body, your skills, your vision, your spirit. You have to decide that your energy is sacred, your time is valuable, your dreams are not negotiable. You want freedom? Stop begging for crumbs and build your own table. You want love? Stop chasing people who don't see you and become someone who loves themselves so deeply that love becomes a reflection, not a need. You want respect? Stop giving yours away so cheaply and start demanding it by the way you live. You don't need to chase. You don't need to beg. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone. The only person you need to prove it to is yourself. Because when you believe in you, when you back you, when you grow you, the whole world feels it. Today is the day you stop handing out your power like candy. Today is the day you take it back. Today is the day you draw the line and say, no more chasing, no more begging, no more giving my worth away. From this moment forward I build me, I respect me, I invest in me, and the right people, the right opportunities, the right life will meet me there. Let me ask you this. How much longer are you going to keep running after people who don't even value you? How much longer are you going to keep begging for attention, begging for love, begging for approval from people who can barely see their own worth, let alone yours? You've been trained, conditioned, wired to think that if you run fast enough, if you prove yourself hard enough, if you bend over backward long enough, eventually they'll look at you and say, "You matter." But listen to me. That is a losing game. You will die on that treadmill, because here's the truth. You can chase until you collapse, and it will never be enough for someone who doesn't want to see your worth in the first place. Chasing is weakness. Chasing is self-abandonment. Chasing is you screaming, "I'm not enough unless you validate me." And the longer you do it, the more you kill your own spirit. But here's the shift. The moment you stop chasing people who don't see your worth, you free yourself to build something that no one can ignore. You stop handing your power to people who haven't earned it. Stop giving discounts on your value. Stop shrinking to fit in someone else's box. Why are you running after people when the real work, the real magic, the real transformation is waiting inside of you? I want you to feel this. When you chase, you're desperate, and desperation repels. It pushes people away. It screams, "I don't believe in myself, so I need you to fill me." That energy never attracts what you want. But when you stop chasing, when you turn that energy inward, when you build, when you grow, when you elevate, you become magnetic. Think about it. You've seen it in your own life. The people who carry themselves with certainty, who know their value, who move with purpose, they don't have to beg for attention. They don't have to run after anyone. People gravitate to them. Why? Because power attracts. Self-respect attracts, growth attracts, and here's the raw truth. If you keep chasing, you'll always stay behind. If you keep begging, you'll always stay small. But if you stop, if you stand still, if you redirect all that wasted energy back into you, into your mind, into your body, into your spirit, into your skills, you become undeniable. You become the person people notice without you trying. You become the person people chase because now you're operating from strength, not weakness. But don't get it twisted. This isn't about arrogance. This isn't about proving you're better than anyone else. This is about ownership. Ownership of your worth. Ownership of your energy. Ownership of your damn life. Stop waiting for someone to crown you valuable. Crown yourself. Stop waiting for someone to see you. See yourself. Stop waiting for someone to tell you that you matter. Decide you matter, and then go out and live like it. The truth is, nobody respects a chaser. Nobody looks at the person begging for scraps and says, "Wow, that's inspiring." Respect comes from strength, from self-respect. From building something so strong inside of you that people feel it before you even speak. And let me be very clear. This is not easy. It takes discipline. It takes work. It takes saying no to distractions, no to drama, no to people who drain you, and yes to growth, yes to your vision, yes to the daily habits that sculpt you into someone powerful. But isn't that better than living your life on your knees, chasing people who can't even see the gift you already are? Isn't it better to take that time, that energy, that passion, and put it into building yourself into a person who is undeniable, unstoppable, unshakable? Because here's the reality. When you become that person, the right people find you. The right opportunities find you. You don't have to beg for doors to open. You become the one who builds the damn doors. So today, I'm challenging you. Stop chasing. Stop running after people who don't care if you collapse at their feet. Stop giving your soul away to people who wouldn't notice if you disappeared. Decide that from this moment forward, your energy goes into building you, building your strength, building your confidence, building your skills, building your purpose, building your damn life. Listen to me right now, because this is the trap that's stealing people's lives. You've been taught to measure your worth by how many people approve of you, by how many likes you get, by how many people say yes to you, by how many people invite you into their circle. And I'm telling you, if that's how you measure yourself, you'll never win. You'll spend your entire life chained to other people's opinions. Do you get what that means? That means your self-worth is up for auction every single day. Whoever claps, you feel good. Whoever criticizes, you shrink. Whoever leaves you on read, you collapse. That is slavery. That is weakness. That is giving away the most sacred thing you have, your identity, to people who aren't even thinking about you 2 minutes later. But here's the shift. Your value has nothing to do with who accepts you. Your value is proven by who you become. Do you hear that? It's not about what they think. It's not about whether they clap or criticize. It's about the man or woman you're sculpting yourself into every single day. Because at the end of the day, you don't go to bed with their opinion. You go to bed with yourself. You live with your choices. You face your reflection in the mirror. So the real question is this: who are you becoming? Are you becoming stronger, or are you becoming weaker? Are you becoming more disciplined or more distracted? Are you becoming a leader, or are you stuck being a follower? Because your worth is not determined by their approval. Your worth is determined by your growth, your courage, your resilience, your consistency. Let me tell you something. Approval is cheap. People hand it out and take it back like candy. One day they love you, the next day they don't. 1 minute they celebrate you, the next they criticize you. You can't build your life on something so unstable, but you know what you can build your life on. Becoming the kind of person who knows their own worth no matter who comes or goes. That's real power, that's unshakable. Because when you become that person, when you know who you are, when you're living your values, when you're mastering your craft, when you're operating from strength, you don't need their acceptance. You don't need their applause. You don't need their permission. You're already validated by who you've become. Think about it. The people you admire, the ones who inspire you, they didn't get there by begging for acceptance. They got there by becoming. They put in the work when no one was watching. They showed up when nobody clapped. They believed when everyone doubted. And eventually the world couldn't ignore who they had become. And that's the game. Stop obsessing over being accepted. Stop twisting yourself into a version of you that fits their mold. Start asking, am I becoming the person I was born to be? Am I growing? Am I stretching? Am I leveling up into the strongest version of myself? Because that's the only scoreboard that matters. Let me be real with you. You're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Some people are going to reject you. Some people are going to doubt you. Some people are going to walk away, and that's fine. That's life. That's growth. If everyone accepts you, it means you've watered yourself down so much you don't stand for anything, and nobody respects that. The people who win in life, the people who command respect, the people who shift the room when they walk in, they didn't get there by chasing acceptance. They got there by becoming undeniable. They got there by investing in themselves so relentlessly that whether you liked them or not, you couldn't ignore them. So let me hit you with this. Stop asking, do they accept me? Start asking, am I proud of who I'm becoming? Stop worrying, do they approve of me? Start declaring, I approve of myself because I know the work I've put in. I know the character I've built. I know the strength I carry. Your value is not in their hands. It never was. It's in yours. It's in your choices, your habits, your growth, your mindset. Every single day you're writing the story of who you are becoming. That story, that evolution, that transformation is where your worth lies. So stop giving away the pen. Stop letting other people dictate your story with their acceptance or rejection. Pick it up, own it, write it with courage, with power, with fire. Because the day you stop chasing acceptance and start focusing on becoming is the day you finally step into your true power. Let's be real. You're tired, you're drained, and it's not because you don't have energy. It's because you're wasting it. You're bleeding your power into places that don't give you anything back. You're chasing people, chasing approval, chasing attention. And every time you do, you're handing over your power on a silver platter. Think about it. When you chase, you're not standing in your strength. You're bending, you're shrinking. You're adjusting yourself to fit someone else's standard. You're showing up begging for scraps instead of owning your feast. And that's why you feel exhausted, why you feel empty, why you feel like you're never enough. Because you're giving away your fire instead of fueling it. Let me tell you something. Chasing drains your power. Building multiplies it. When you chase, you're dependent, you're waiting, you're hoping someone else chooses you. That's weakness. That's insecurity. That's handing the keys to your life to someone else and praying they don't drop them. But when you build, when you invest in yourself, when you strengthen your body, sharpen your mind, discipline your habits, expand your skills, you are no longer waiting, you're creating, you're generating. You're multiplying. Do you see the difference? Chasing is begging, building is owning, chasing is waiting, building is acting, chasing is powerless, building is powerful. I'll give it to you straight. Every second you spend chasing is a second you could have spent building. And those seconds add up. That's why some people seem unstoppable. They're not wasting their time begging to be seen. They're working in the dark, stacking wins, compounding growth, and when they show up, they're undeniable. And here's the beautiful part. When you build, you don't just get stronger, you get momentum. Growth compounds, energy compounds, confidence compounds. Every workout, every book, every habit, every decision. It multiplies. That's why successful people seem magnetic. They've built so much inside themselves that their power radiates outwards, and people can't help but notice. So the question is, are you going to keep draining yourself chasing, or are you going to redirect that energy into building? Because let me tell you, when you build yourself, everything changes. Your confidence changes. Your posture changes. The way you walk into a room changes. You stop asking, will they accept me? And start thinking, do they even deserve to sit at my table? That's what happens when you multiply your power. You stop needing, you start leading, and listen. Don't get this twisted. I'm not talking about arrogance. I'm talking about certainty. I'm talking about walking into your life with such clarity and conviction that people feel it before you even open your mouth. That doesn't come from chasing. That comes from building. That comes from discipline, from courage, from sacrifice, from refusing to waste another ounce of energy on proving yourself to people who don't even value themselves. You want love, build yourself. You want respect. Build yourself. You want freedom, build yourself. Stop looking outside for what you haven't cultivated inside. Because when you build, you don't have to chase anything. Opportunities chase you. People chase you. Respect chases you. Here's the raw truth. The energy you've been pouring into chasing them, begging for attention, checking your phone, refreshing your likes, that same energy could be transformed into becoming the kind of person no one can ignore. But you've got to flip the switch. You've got to say, no more giving my power away. No more leaking energy into people who don't see my worth. I'm taking all of that back, and I'm using it to build the strongest, most powerful version of me. That's the shift. That's where you win. Stop letting your life leak out of you like a broken faucet. Patch it up, redirect it. Build the damn reservoir, because once you do, you'll never have to chase again. Your power won't just stay, it'll multiply. Respect. Everybody wants it. Everybody craves it. But here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Respect isn't about being the loudest voice in the room. It's not about dominating every conversation, and it's not about pretending to be more than you are. Respect is earned, and it's earned through growth. Think about it. You know those people who always talk, who always brag, who always puff themselves up. They may get attention for a moment, but do they get respect? No, because people can see through the noise. People can feel when someone is all talk and no substance. And let's be honest, respect doesn't come from noise, it comes from depth. It comes from the work you've done when no one's watching. It comes from the growth you've fought for when it was uncomfortable, when it was painful, when it was lonely. Respect isn't handed out. Respect is recognized. It's the result of you becoming someone who shows up stronger, wiser, and more consistent than you were yesterday. Respect grows when you grow. See, here's the trap. Too many people want respect, but they don't want to do the work that earns it. They want others to see them as strong, but they don't want to face their own weakness. They want to be admired, but they don't want to sacrifice. They want to be recognized, but they don't want to grow, and that's why they stay stuck. Because they're chasing respect instead of building it. The person who grows, who's willing to step into the fire, who's willing to learn, who's willing to fail, who's willing to get back up again, that's the person people respect. You don't even have to demand it. You don't have to scream for it. You walk into a room with the weight of your growth, with the energy of your discipline, and people just feel it. They may not even be able to explain it, but they know it. This person has done the work. And let's be real. Respect isn't about impressing others. It's about being someone you can respect when you look in the mirror. That's the foundation. Because if you can't respect yourself, if you know you've been cutting corners, if you know you've been avoiding the work, if you know you've been loud on the outside but weak on the inside, then nothing anyone else gives you will ever feel real. Respect begins with self-respect, and self-respect is earned the same way through growth, through keeping the promises you make to yourself, through choosing discipline over comfort, through showing up for your vision when nobody's clapping, when nobody's cheering, when nobody even notices. That's growth. That's where respect is born. So stop worrying about who's listening. Stop worrying about being the loudest. Stop performing. Instead, focus on growing. Focus on being better than you were yesterday. Focus on learning what you don't know, on sharpening your skills, on building your resilience. Because when you do that, you won't need to demand respect. It'll come. People will feel it in the way you move, in the way you speak, in the way you carry yourself. And here's the kicker: respect doesn't come instantly. It takes time, it takes consistency, it takes showing up over and over again. That's why most people never earn it. They quit too soon. They want the respect without the years of growth. But you're different. You're here because you're ready to put in the work. You're here because you understand that being respected isn't about being flashy. It's about being real. Respect doesn't chase noise. It chases growth. Respect doesn't stick to the person screaming for attention. It sticks to the person who's undeniable, who's built themselves into someone solid, steady, and strong. That's what people respect. The courage to grow, the discipline to keep going, the consistency to become more every single day. Your value is not determined by how many people approve of you, how many people like you, or how many people you chase to notice you. Your value is not tied to their attention. It's tied to your growth, your discipline, and your willingness to build yourself into something greater than you were yesterday. So many of you have been living backwards. You've been running after people, begging for their approval, needing their validation to feel like you matter. But let me tell you something. You will never rise chasing someone else's opinion. You will never rise by begging to be seen. You rise when you stop chasing and you start building. Think about it. Have you ever chased someone's approval so hard that you lost yourself? You bent who you were. You tried to fit into their box. You played small so they'd accept you. You gave up your own power just to get a scrap of their attention. And then, even when they gave it to you, it never felt enough. Why? Because you were building their opinion, not your value. You were chasing them instead of building you. Value doesn't come from the outside. Value is created on the inside. It comes from building yourself, your skills, your mindset, your strength, your confidence, your character. That's what makes you valuable. That's what makes you unshakable. That's what makes people turn their heads and say, "Who is that?" And not because you screamed for their attention, but because you became undeniable. You've got to flip the script. Stop thinking, if I chase them, if I please them, if I impress them, then I'll be valuable. No, that's broken, that's weak, that's giving away your power. The truth is this: your value rises every time you keep a promise to yourself. Every time you choose growth over comfort. Every time you invest in yourself instead of wasting your energy trying to win approval. That's how you build value that no one can take away. When you chase people, you put your value in their hands. You're saying, you get to decide what I'm worth. But when you build yourself, you take your value back. You decide, you say, I don't need you to tell me I matter. I know I matter because I've done the work. I've built something real. I've become someone strong. That's the shift. That's the freedom, and here's the beautiful thing. When you stop chasing and you focus on building yourself, the right people start showing up. The ones who see your value without you begging for it. The ones who respect you because of who you've become, not because of what you give up to keep them. You attract the right people by growing into the right version of yourself, But none of this happens if you're still chasing. Chasing is desperation. Building is power. Chasing drains you. Building multiplies you. Chasing makes you small. Building makes you unstoppable. So you've got to ask yourself right now, where have you been chasing? Where have you been giving away your value? Where have you been putting someone else's opinion above your own growth? And are you done with it? Are you ready to take it back? Because here's the truth. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you value. You have to create it. You have to build it. You have to earn it every single day through your actions, through your discipline, through your growth. That's how you rise. That's how you stop being ignored. That's how you stop begging to be seen and instead become someone who can't be overlooked. Your value is not in the chase. Your value is in the build. And the moment you stop looking for permission and start building yourself, that's the moment you rise into your power. Stop chasing. Stop running after people who don't see your worth. Stop pouring your energy into trying to convince someone to value you, to notice you, to keep you. Because every moment you spend chasing them is a moment you're abandoning yourself, and the truth is your power isn't in the chase. It's in becoming someone they can't ignore. Listen to me. People respect power. People are drawn to strength. People notice growth, but when you chase, you broadcast weakness. You're saying, you're more important than me. Your approval matters more than my self-respect. And that energy pushes people away. You think chasing brings them closer, but it doesn't. It does the opposite. It makes you invisible. It makes you forgettable. Because the world doesn't notice the ones who beg for attention, the world notices the ones who rise without needing it. Your power is in transformation. Your power is in growth. Your power is in becoming so disciplined, so focused, so strong in who you are that people have no choice but to notice. They look at you and say, something's different. This person doesn't chase, doesn't beg, doesn't shrink. They stand tall, they know their worth. That's when you become magnetic. That's when people start to lean in instead of pull away. I want you to really feel this. When you stop chasing, you shift the entire dynamic of your life. Chasing is reactive. It means you're waiting for someone else to decide if you're enough. But building yourself, becoming undeniable, that's proactive. That's power. That's you taking control of your story. That's you saying, I'm not going to live my life waiting for you to pick me. I'm going to pick me. I'm going to grow me. And if you can't see it, that's your loss, not mine. And here's the paradox. When you stop chasing, the people you once thought you needed suddenly start noticing. They feel the shift because energy doesn't lie. Desperation repels. Power attracts. When you stop begging for the seat at the table and you start building yourself into someone who owns the table, people come to you. That's the shift from powerless to powerful. But this isn't just about other people. It's about you. It's about how you see yourself. Because if you're chasing, it's because deep down you don't think you're enough without their attention. You're trying to fill a hole inside with someone else's validation. But the truth is, nothing external will ever fix what's missing internally. Only you can do that. Only you can build the confidence, the discipline, the strength that makes you unshakable. So ask yourself, who do you want to be? Do you want to be the person who chases and waits and begs? Or do you want to be the person who grows so much that they become unforgettable? Do you want to live your life trying to convince people to choose you? Or do you want to become the kind of person people can't afford to lose? You've got to decide, because the moment you stop chasing is the moment you free yourself. The moment you take all that energy you've been wasting on them and put it into building you, into your health, into your mindset, into your work, into your passion, into becoming the kind of human being who doesn't need to ask for respect because they embody it. That's when everything shifts. That's when you take back your power. And make no mistake, this isn't easy. It takes courage to stop chasing. It takes discipline to redirect that energy inward. It takes consistency to show up for yourself day after day when no one's clapping for you yet. But if you do the work, if you commit to the growth, if you decide to become someone they can't ignore, you will never have to chase again.